Hello, everyone. Have any of you ever felt like you tried to fit yourself into a box that just wasn't shaped for you? I'm guessing that some of you, like myself, have experienced the feeling that you have to twist and turn and bend yourself into a pretzel just to step inside of this box instead of simply stepping outside of the box. I spent so much of my life inside of this box. It started when I was a child. You see, I was a weird kid. I insisted that I originated from the royal family of a country on the other side of the sun, and no one could tell me any different. I was to be treated like the princess that I was. My dad once had to fight me because I wanted to wear one of my princess gowns for kindergarten, obviously. And apparently it was freezing outside. But this man wanted me to wear pants. Me, a princess, please. We eventually reached a compromise. I was gonna wear the pants underneath the dress. I had a strong personality fit for an extraterrestrial princess. But then came school and peer pressure and the desire to fit in. And in the end, all I wanted was to feel accepted. Trying to fit in didn't work very well for me. It created a bit of an identity crisis between this inner weird kid and this new personality that I adopted as a front in a failed attempt to get external validation and acceptance. And that crisis kind of fueled other battles as well, like depression, eating disorders, social anxiety. Living inside of this box destroyed my confidence, and it created this identity full of limiting beliefs around myself and what I was able to do. And I constantly see this in others too. That is why the work that I do is so centered around removing these inner limitations so that we can create a more expansive life. These days, I am a transformational coach. I work with leaders and entrepreneurs to strengthen leadership, improve performance, and increase well-being in their organizations. I grew up in Denmark, but I moved to Rwanda 5 years ago because I just really wanted to be there. If you've been to Rwanda, you understand, right? I made that move once I had built the strength to step outside of the boxes that society had put me in as a young adult. Here's the thing, the work that I do basically boils down to one fundamental concept, our identities. And through this work, I've come to a startling realization. Many of us have created a map of the road to success that is backwards. I used to assume that we are who we are, and some people are just meant to be successful and happy, while others are not. But I'm here to tell you that's simply not true. We need to flip that idea upside down. Our identities are not static, they're incredibly dynamic, and they hold the key to building the life that we dream of. We can change who we are and how we see ourselves, and as a result, become the person that can achieve anything we want. Yet there's a reason why many of us don't. You see, as we grow up, we are programmed to see ourselves and the world in a specific way, and the beliefs that we hold within this program determine what we do with our lives. For most of my life, I thought I had to follow that path presented to me in order to be considered successful. You may know this path. You may have seen it before, and I'm guessing some of you are looking down this path right now. It looks a little bit like this. Get a degree, get a job, chase promotions, get married, have 2.3 kids, save up for retirement, and then, maybe then, enjoy life just a little bit before leaving this world behind. I hated everything about it. But I thought this is what we're all supposed to do, right? And we'd all just secretly hate our lives while numbing our frustrations by binging TV and scrolling on social media. And for a few weeks per year, I would leave everything behind and travel to someplace warm, like Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. Listen, I was not prepared for this heat, okay? I did not see it coming. I would leave my life behind and just, didn't have to be faced with my daily life. But that is until I had to go back home. That journey back was always a reality check for me. It reminded me of how much I disliked my life. So one day, at some point, I'd had enough. I quit my job, I packed my bags and I left. This time without a return ticket. I moved my life from Denmark to Rwanda without any plan and without any certainty that things would work out. I just knew I needed something different. I needed to become the creator of my own life, and I didn't feel like I could do that where I was. Some people called me crazy. Others said they wished they could do the same, while listing all of the excuses for why they wouldn't. I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can create a new life for yourself. Make bold leaps and become the best version of you. Now, if you already love everything about your life, I'm so happy for you. And I hope you continue to expand and grow in ways that delight and surprise you. But if you are struggling, remember that this journey of self-actualization is about liberating your mind of the constraints that we put on ourselves. It's about daring to imagine a life beyond what we've been conditioned to believe is possible. It's about looking at yourself, your life, this world, as objectively as you can. Imagine for a moment, you're an alien. You've arrived here at planet Earth today. You have none of your preconditioned programming. You have no idea why people do what they do or believe what they believe. What would you question? What would you challenge? Would you make the same assumptions around what your life would have to look like? Unshackling yourself from inner limitations isn't about blind optimism. It's about opening your mind to new possibilities. It's about doing things that aren't consistent with your current programming. And it's about reprogramming yourself into a new identity. Remember, the limits of your mind become the limits of your reality. By unshackling yourself, you open up a world of potential that you might have never known existed. So how do you do that? Well, allow me to guide you through 3 steps that you can take to help you structure your journey towards an unshackled identity. Yeah, we're good? Yay! I feel the excitement over it.
100%.
Yes. Step number 1, understand your current version of self. This includes the assumptions that you make, the image you have of yourself, and the judgments that you make of both yourself and others. Who are you really? When you detangle your identity and you peel off the layers of this person that you've been created to be, when you remove your ideas around what's possible for you and what you're meant to do, what's left? We often make the mistake of identifying most strongly with the parts of us that bring us guilt and shame. We think that these dark corners are our true selves that we must hide from the world. But these aren't our inherent traits at all. They are unprocessed emotion and experiences manifesting as shadows. If anything, these are the least authentic parts of us. Discovering our true authenticity lies in facing these shadows, understanding their origin, and then releasing them from our subconscious behaviors. When you understand who you are, you connect to your power, your foundation. When you're connected to your core, your vision, your values, you find the anchor, the part of you that will stay consistent throughout transformations. You also find the thoughts that you're having that are currently weighing you down and keeping you stuck in parts of your life that you're less excited about. And when you identify the beliefs that you have that are keeping you from stepping into your next level, you can change those beliefs. And when you change your beliefs, you change your circumstances. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds great, Rebecca, but is there any science behind this? We like science, don't we? International Academy. Well, I'm so glad you asked. Psychologist Albert Bandura coined the term self-efficacy, which refers to an individual's belief in their capacity to execute behaviors necessary to produce a specific performance outcome. He demonstrated that people with higher levels of self-efficacy show up with greater effort, persistence, and resilience when faced with challenges. Since then, several studies have shown that there's a strong correlation between self-efficacy and achievements. For example, a 2016 study, systematic review performed by Sharon and colleagues published in Health Psychology, revealed that interventions designed to increase levels of self-efficacy had significant strong impact on health behavior change, such as diet and exercise, and even addiction recovery. Change what you believe and you change your results. Isn't that amazing? Now, let's move on to number 2. Shift your emotions. Once you've identified your current version of self, it's time to shift it. But here is the key that many people miss. In order to change your identity, you must change how you feel. I don't know about you, but I spent a lot of time changing my words to change my world. Yet my emotions stayed the same. I would tell myself all of these affirmations that I had been informed would change my life. Yet whenever I said those affirmations, I had this feeling in my stomach I was just lying, right? And guess what? The affirmations didn't work. Not until I started working on how I felt. For example, I would tell myself that I was going to be boss and confident, and I was going to be joyful and grateful and have the most amazing day. Yet I would step into my life, and the first excuse that I got to feel irritated and resentful, I would jump on that train, and I would let those emotions take control of my day. Being grateful and having an endless flow of joy in your life isn't created from starting your day with affirmations. It's a continuous application of self-leadership, where you pay attention to how you feel and react throughout the day. You release the negative thoughts and emotions as they come up, and you make the decision to reset and rewire in that moment. And when you notice yourself acting and thinking in ways that no longer suit who you want to be in the world, you can practice reframing, picking a new perspective, taking action in alignment with that new perspective, and then releasing the patterns of who you used to be. And then you do this over and over and over again until it comes natural to you. Change how you feel, and you change who you are. Which leads us to step number 3. Commit to your new identity. Commit to being the version of you that you know you want to be. It is so common to think, let's give this a shot and see if it works. And then after a few weeks or days or hours for some people, we don't see the impact and the results that we want. So we just go back to being who we were before. At least that's familiar, right? But that's not how it works. Commit to your new identity because this is who you want to be, regardless of the results it may bring. We should change because we want to be in alignment with our core values. So lead yourself into this new version of you, and don't think of it as a mere temporary shift. To get started, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Great. Now imagine your future, happiest, most successful version of yourself. Get into the details. And then figure out how can you start closing the gap between where you are now and where you want to be, and step into this elevated version of you. What are the things that you currently believe, think, say, do that is not aligned with this desired identity of yours? And how can you start changing that today? You may open your eyes if you haven't already. How can you start changing that today? Changing will feel awkward at first, right? You feel like you're acting like a new person. But the more you do this work, the more this new version of you will feel like home. I promise you that if you start living as and feeling like this new person, it is only a matter of time before external circumstances catch up. After continuously applying this work on myself, I got into the shape of my life after having struggled with weight for as long as I can remember. I started having issues with my weight as my earliest memories when I was 7 years old. I set up my own business after thinking I could never be an entrepreneur. I moved my life across continents after feeling too scared to ever leave my home country behind. So I ask you now, are you ready to transform yourselves? Remember, you're not stuck with your current identity. You always have the power to redefine yourselves. You can become the version of you that achieves your deepest desires. Because the truth about your identity is simply this. You get to decide who you are, and you get to step into being exactly who you want to be. It is never too late. Start now. Thank you.